Hey guys, this is Dan Wallach with Coal Cracker Bushcraft. Today just wanted to go over another resource that we can use when igniting flint and steel. Of course we know the bird's nest, and I am going to go over that in future videos in a little bit more detail. But today I was in an area at one of my camps that is absolutely just loaded with pine needles. So we have them everywhere. So pine needles is something that a lot of people overlook, but it is something that you can use with flint and steel and charred material, and use that in place of a bird's nest if you don't have something like tulip poplar or cedar available. So what do we need to get this done? Well, the main difference with a bark bird's nest and using pine needles as a bird's nest is going to just be the stability of the bird's nest. And what I mean by that is I just grabbed some pine needles here off the ground, and you want to shake them out, feel any damp leaves or anything, get them out. It has rained here for the last few hours. It just finally broke. You could see, of course, it's gonna fall apart a little bit more easily than a bird's nest would, because that bird's nest is going to be long, stringy fibers. So the big key when you're going to make a bird's nest with your needles is that you need a lot. You need a big handful, because you know you're going to lose some. So you want to gather a lot. So I'm going to reach around here. I'm going to grab some of these needles and get a big pile here. We'll get our flint and steel out and see if we can get flame from this bird's nest. Okay guys, so what I have here is my pile of pine needles that I collected. Now pine needles, like I said, they're going to fall apart, okay? You're not going to have the best bird's nest. It's not going to just stay together. So you really do need a large amount of these. You know you're going to lose some throughout the process. That's just how it goes with this. So what we're going to do now is select our char, okay? One thing you need to remember with charred material, once you get that ignited, you can add more to your nest if you would need to. So in this case, I know there's some dampness because of course it was raining here recently. So I know this is a little bit damp. If I start to get to the point that I can see my bird's nest will ignite, but I might need a little bit more heat, I'm going to throw some more char on there. But to start off, what I want to do right out of the gate is I want to start with enough char, okay? So I'm going to use a piece of terry cloth. I actually have a small shard here. So I'm going to just rip another piece of this off right here. And I'm going to use a pretty good amount just because I know that this is subpar material. Not that the pine needles are bad, but it's been wet. So I know there's some dampness in that, okay? So what I'm going to do now is just ignite my charred cloth. Go. Okay, so I'm going to take my bird's nest of pine needles and I'm just going to work with it just to get an indent in there. Okay, take my material and set it right in there. Now as you can see, that's a pretty good amount of material for this. We have subpar conditions here, so we want to make sure we get fire. Once we get this fire, we can make more char, no problem with that. Now because of that moisture in there, take a little bit more care with this, okay? If I flip this over real quick, what's going to happen is pine needles are going to cover that right over, because again, it's not one solid mass, it's all little small individual pine needles. If I'd flip that over real quick, which I'm going to demonstrate here shortly, this thing would go right out. So you do have to baby this a little bit more, okay? And you can see that's burning good. Just like that. Now, what would happen? I'd drop it on itself, right out. Okay, see there's a little bit still going there. I pick that up. You know, I can get that going again, but you really have to manage this a little bit differently. Okay, so you don't want to just light this, flip it over like we do on bird's nest. We want to let this go a little bit, have a good fire lay to place this in, and we'd be fine. So I'm going to put this out just because it's a little bit windy here. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Pine needles are a great resource. Pine in general, if you're setting up camp looking for a good area with evergreen trees, usually underneath. I did a video I know last winter about finding smalls and being able to light that real quickly with a lighter, pine needles, and even pine, just to get a good fast fire burning, a good hot fire to boil water. It's a tremendous resource. So keep that in mind when you're out and you're getting ready to set up camp. This was Dan Wowak with Cold Cracker Bushcraft. I hope you're enjoying all my videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with new videos shortly. Thanks, guys.